You know, everyone told me that this was one of the best games ever made, and I gotta say, I absolutely agree. This is amazing. 10 out of 10 out of 10. I am so hard right now. Let me tell you a little bit about Team Ico, a video game development team that, according to pretty much everyone, have made some of the best games of all time, like Ico, which is a masterpiece, Shadow of the Colossus, which is a masterpiece, and The Last Guardian, which is also a game. And recently, Shadow of the Colossus, masterpiece number 2, was remade from the ground up for the PS4, and I was actually very excited to play it. You see, even though I really should have, I never actually played the original PS2 game. However, I still knew everything that happened in the game because a few years ago the Game Grumps did a playthrough of it, and that's like my favorite series they've ever done. So yeah, I guess I kind of ruined it for myself. Let that be a lesson to you kids, never watch YouTube. Oh wait, no, so what I'm trying to say is, I went into the remake having not played the original, but I still kind of knew everything that was gonna happen. I knew about the Colossi, I knew about the ending, I knew about the horse that constantly gets in your way. Are you trying to die? And because of all this, I thought I might not enjoy it so much, but as it turns out, I think it's fucking awesome. It's one of those very rare cases where a developer tries to make a game that defies genre by being completely unique, and they actually nail it and don't make complete dicks out of themselves, or as I like to call it, pulling a No Man's Sky. The premise is pretty simple. You are a guy who's come to a forbidden place with a girl because she's dead, and frankly that's absolutely terrible for your relationship. So you've come here because there's this god who can bring her back to life if you go out into the world and kill 16 of the biggest, deadliest, most terrifying monsters you've ever seen. It's a pretty good deal. Now, the game basically works like this. Your hole in the ceiling buddy tells you about your next Colossus, you ride over to where it is, take it down, and watch as the mighty beast you've slain crumbles to the floor in a spectacular way. Oh, come on, man, you're ruining the mood. And even though that may sound quite simple, everything I just mentioned works so fucking well, and it all fits together and complements itself perfectly. The voice gives you a brief description of the Colossus, which starts to make you excited. You ride over there with no distractions or challenges, so you have time to take in the epic landscape and wonder what the fight will be like. When you get there, the Colossus is always revealed in such an amazing way, which makes you even more pumped to fight it, and then you have the fight, which is always very intense, because you gotta figure out how to beat it whilst it's trying to... And once you've beaten it, you watch it fall, in a very somber yet oddly satisfying way. It's the perfect mix of build-up, suspense, action, and reward, and even though I usually hate this word with the passion of 1,000 suns, I do actually think the whole thing feels very... cinematic. And there goes my erection. But seriously, if there was ever a game that deserves to be called that, it's Shadow of the Colossus. Everything about the way this game presents itself is great, from the breathtaking scenery to the awesome sounds and music, and the way the game effectively makes the Colossi feel so imposing. That's why I actually thought a shiny new remake of this game was such a good idea, because it was already a very detailed looking game, so I thought better visuals would only improve things, and I gotta say, they got everything right. Nearly. And one thing I especially loved is how incredible the Colossi look. Every single one of them is completely unique, both in design and in how you fight them, and every single fight you have feels memorable and special. Whether it's against a monstrous behemoth or this little cutie pants who's scared of the fire. Oh, come on! See, this is how the fights are supposed to go. Climb onto the Colossus, find its glowy weak spot, and stab it with your stabby stick until black paint comes shooting out and it takes a nice cozy nap. But because it's never instantly obvious how to get onto it, the challenge comes from figuring out what you're supposed to do to mount it and handling your stamina when you're up there so you don't get chucked off and have to do it all over again, which is... always just so much fun. But seriously, most of these fights are downright spectacular. There's just something that's so exhilarating about that little kick you get in your gut when you leap onto a giant bird's wing and it swoops you into the air, or when you're low on stamina and an especially hard Colossus is trying to shake you off and you know you gotta hold on for just a little bit longer. It sounds dumb to say, but it recreates the tension and excitement you would feel if you were actually fighting a monster yourself very well. I mean, I assume so. Like, I've obviously never done that, but I'm just trying to use my imagination here. Work with me, people! But with all that being said, I think I should mention some of the technical problems I ran into. As I showed you before, I found a few bugs in my time playing, like getting stuck and tap dancing on the side of a mountain, somersaulting underwater, and of course the falling through the world thing, which I actually encountered in my first hour of playing, so... you know, not a great start. But look, any problems I may have with this game are vastly overshadowed by everything that's great about this game, which is, well, everything. I mean, I think it says a lot when I already knew everything that was gonna happen, but there were still so many moments where I was like... Maybe that's thanks to the improved graphics, or maybe that's thanks to the fact that this game knows how to make shit cinematic. God, I need to stop saying that word. But it doesn't matter. This game was fucking astonishing, and I am so glad I played it for myself. If you've never played the original, get this. If you have played the original, still get this. And if, like me, you still haven't played Ico either, then just take a long look in the mirror and try to figure out where you went wrong as a human being. Okay, bye.